Hello traders, and welcome to a new price prediction video of mine. So in today's video we are looking up Ethereum on the daily. We're also going to look at the 1 hour for a bit. We're going to be looking at three different things. We're going to be looking at Fibonacci retracements, Fibonacci extensions, and then also sentiment analysis and volume 2. So if you don't fully understand sentiment and Fibonacci's, I would highly recommend that you watch the playlist that I've created on sentiment analysis and also on Fibonacci retracements and extensions. Okay, so before we begin, I've announced this in the past, but if you haven't seen my newest video, I am going to be doing a day trading live stream coming up. So what that entails is I'm going to be throwing 1K at GDAX, and I'm going to be scalping on stream. So that's going to be trades at around, 15 to, I'd say, 45 minutes. And we're going to try to run it up to around 2K. Not in one session, of course, but over a span of sessions of scalping. So that's going to be super fun. And if you want to join me, I will be live streaming either the 15th or the 16th. And I'm going to let you guys know when that is. Yeah, the reason I can't do it yet is because my GDAX funds haven't settled. And they will settle at the end of the 13th of December. So I'm pushing around 15th or 16th, that's why, to do the live stream. So yeah, that's going to be super fun. All right, now let's talk about Fibonacci extensions and why I think that this is a pretty good resistance area that's going to be hard to break. So if we look at our first Fibonacci extension using that 127, we can see that it did have some very good resistance here with two tails here and acceptance of this price barrier. And then we also have an even prettier Fibonacci, which is this one. And this 161.8 extension, went up to 516.79 when the high was 518. So it was only $1 off of the of where a predicted price would go, which is super cool because Fibonacci extensions are a very helpful tool, and they're probably just as helpful as Fibonacci retracements in the market. So yeah, so I think that this is pretty good resistance that we're seeing right here. And here's what I think we're going to see going forward. So we could see that we had a slight uptrend that turned into consolidation with a failed move upward, and then back to consolidation, and then the uptrend. Because of this strange, wacky nature of uptrend, back to consolidation, back to uptrend, back to consolidation, it's pretty hard to do an Elliott wave count on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to apply an Elliott wave count to this, but what I would do is if I saw price retrace to around here, the 61.8, then I would label this 1 and this 2. And then I would expect a wave 3, 4, 5 sequence after that. But because of this nature, I'm going to be using Fibonacci's instead of EWT. Yeah. So going off that, there are two places where we can plot the fibs. You probably saw them here to here and here to here. I prefer to use this one because this is a different market than this, because we had an uptrend that turned in consolidation and then a failed uptrend. So there's a lot going on around here. Price didn't just go up. But here we can see that this is where the move turned from consolidation into an uptrend. So that's why I'm going to draw this fib here. And another reason why I'm drawing my fib to the maxima here is because this was the 161.8 extension. So I'm confident that I don't have to use an orthodox price point. I can use an unorthodox price point because of that extension here. Yeah, okay. Now here's where I think we're going to find our next powerful level of support. And if you put a buy order around here, you're probably going to be okay with a bounce off. It's the 367 level on Bitfinex. There are a lot of reasons why I like this level a lot. The first is you can see that there's some consolidation here. That's telling me that some positions are being accumulated, and if positions are being accumulated at this level, that's going to make it harder for the market to go past that level without consolidation or a bounce. So I like that already. Also, we can see that there's a tail that forms a bit of resistance around these levels. So we have previous resistance becoming likely future support. We have a 61.8 retracement down to 367 and a previous consolidation zone. It's probably a demand zone as well. And yeah, so I think that is a very likely level of support. I would say plus or minus around $5 would be a good place to buy. So anywhere from around probably 360 to 370 I'm going to amend that because typically Fibonacci retracements tend to, price likes to go a little bit past it more often than it likes to undershoot it. So I would say around 360 to 370, you're going to expect some really good support. Yep. Okay, so that's where I think the market is likely to go. If the market does move downward, I can see us going down to that 367 level. But I must say, there's also an uptrend that could form. And it's always important in your analysis to have a plan if the market begins to gain bullish momentum and move upward, or if the market begins to gain bearish momentum and moves downward, and to have price levels at those points that you know what to do when price hits those points. So what I'm going to do here is, if we can see price breach these tails, so if I see price go past 500, I'm expecting an uptrend to form. And if I see an uptrend form, then a very likely level of likely resistance is, let me turn off auto so I can scroll up and show you guys, is around 600. Not only is it a round number, and a lot of traders like to put orders at just round numbers like this, like just 600. And a lot of institutions like to put their orders right beneath important levels like this because they know how many retail traders are wanting to sell, and they might want to sell at like 595. Just a little hint of what might happen if price comes up here. So remember that. Yeah, I think that we can see some good resistance at 600. That's also the 161.8 retracement of this consolidation zone. So I think that, again, if the market breaches 500, that we're probably going to go up to around the 600 level and then see some consolidation or a bounce that forms like a V formation, like a boom, boom. Yeah. But if I see that the market begins to continue to consolidate or begins to move downward a bit, then I'm confident that we're going to see that 367 level probably bounced off. Okay, so I've given you guys my Fibonacci extension, Fibonacci retracement important levels. If we see price move to any of these levels, then they can be high probability points of reversal. Now let's hop on the 1 hour and do some sentiment. Again, sentiment's a bit complicated. And if you haven't seen my sentiment analysis videos, I would have to say that that's a must before you see this. That's in the playlist of part of my channel where it says just sentiment, and you can watch the 5 videos in there. Okay, here we go. So we can see that we had a market top that was overbought right here, as many long positions rushed to buy the market. Then we can see that the long positions practically fell apart here, and that's why the market didn't continue moving downward, because so many people had sold that there weren't that many trapped long positions to cause resistance at those levels. So because so many people sold, the market rebounded and is now consolidating. And there's really not that much of a trend of what long positions are doing. It's kind of just up and down based on where the market's been going. And short positions have just been slowly falling, which is more bearish than not. Yeah. So I would say, am I leaning towards, are we going to see retracement, or are we going to see higher Ethereum levels? What's the more likely? I would say it's slightly more likely that we see price coming down to 367, more likely than price going up to 600. Both could happen, but just from probability, I think it's more likely that price is going to come down. After longs go up and we get a lot of trapped buyers, and the price just crashes. And especially with the futures coming in who have the ability to short now en masse, that could cause the market to hurtle downward as well. So yeah, that's where I think that we're standing right now with those 2 important points of reversal that I've labeled for you guys. I think that more often than not, like I said, this consolidation is going to turn into a distribution phase that would cause the market to move downward to here. Yeah, and then what we might see if the market moves down to there, which is going to be super cool, we can do something called future Fibonacci plotting, which is plotting Fibonacci's as moves may happen, and then looking at the retracements off those future potential moves. A little bit of an advanced thing here. So if we think that the market's going to go down to around that Fibonacci level, that 367, we can look at some cool levels here, and we can see that around 444 is the 61.8 retracement of this move. So we might see some resistance around that 444 level if the market does move down to this level right here and bounce off. We could also see some resistance here at 414 because of the previous support that these levels had there might be a lot of orders and positions here, which could cause the market to have a hard time breaching 415. So I think 415 and 444 could be possible points of resistance if the market comes down to here and then bounces, which I can absolutely see it doing. It might bounce there. Yeah, so I think that is what we're going to see. We've gone over sentiment, we've gone over Fibonacci retracements and extensions, and we've also gone over some previous resistance turning into support and previous support turning into resistance. So if you have any questions about the upcoming day trading live stream or any questions about Ethereum and where you think it's going to go, then feel free to leave them in the comments. But thanks for watching.